I did not slam the door. I did not erupt in anger. I did not waste breath in an argument destined for futility. When my sister Dana leaned back in her chair with a dismissive laugh and remarked, "You're mainly here to look after the children, aren't you?" Something crystalline formed in my mind. Her husband, Mark, wearing that insufferably smug smile, added, "Since you're still single, we know you're eager for the experience." Their 3 children clung to me like vines, while Dana and Mark gathered their snorkeling gear. They walked away, and so did I. I did not take the children. I did not scrawl a note or leave a warning. I owed them nothing. I calmly packed my bag, booked an early flight, and disappeared. My phone has not stopped ringing since. Cruelty, I've learned, rarely declares itself in a single act. Betrayal is a slow architecture layer by layer, disguised beneath gestures of familiarity and comfort until one day you realize the blade has been positioned against your back all along. As children, I idolized Dana. She was radiant, confident, adored, effortlessly magnetic. I was the quiet shadow trailing behind her brilliance, always repairing her mistakes, keeping her secrets, defending her flaws. I mistook loyalty for love. She mistook it for weakness. The contempt began quietly. Borrowed money that was never returned. Casual jokes at my expense, especially about my singleness. The unspoken assumption that I would always serve as the default nanny for every family gathering. I accepted it. I silenced my resentment. That, I believed, was the cost of family. But Hawaii was different. That morning, I watched her framed against the wind-whipped sea, sunglasses concealing her eyes, her posture dripping with entitlement. Her husband radiated arrogance, certain that the world existed to serve his rhythm, when they laughed at me, reduced me to unpaid labor, and dismissed my worth with unthinking contempt. I understood at last, this was not carelessness. It was deliberate. My phone buzzed. Her name appeared. I let the screen fade to black. This was no impulse. The decision had been building long before I stepped onto the plane. While the children built castles in the sand, I observed, I documented. His corporate credit card carelessly exposed on the chair. The receipt for their extravagant romantic scuba session neatly disguised as part of a family-funded trip. Her hotel keycard abandoned in haste. I did not steal, I recorded. At the airport, I began my quiet orchestration. An email dispatched simultaneously to his corporate office and hers, forwarding their so-called family expenses. I knew the company had financed the entire holiday. I knew exactly which stones to turn. Scheduled posts, timed emails, digital breadcrumbs all carefully arranged. By the time the plane lifted from the island, the scaffolding of their perfect image was already collapsing. A fraud alert froze his card. His supervisor was calling the nanny agency received anonymous photos of their children left unsupervised. Their mother-in-law, long suspicious of Dana's negligence, now had photographic proof. It was not explosive. It was not loud. It was surgical. At 2 a.m., the first voicemail arrived. Dana's voice cracked with sobs. "Where are you? How could you abandon us? Everyone is blaming me." Exactly where I wanted the blame to rest. I did not reply. I wanted her to taste the same isolation she had spoon-fed me for years. Revenge, contrary to belief, is not forged in fury. It is born of patience, of silence sharpened into a blade. I didn't need to scream, "I am not your servant." She was already hearing it in every unanswered call, in every lost dollar, in every whisper tarnishing her name. 2 days later came Mark's voice. The arrogance was gone, replaced by desperate pleading. "Please come back. We need you. We can't manage this." The irony was exquisite. The man who once mocked me for lacking parenting experience was begging for my return to stabilize his crumbling life. But I did not go back. Instead, I sat on my balcony, coffee warm in hand, phone buzzing on the table. I thought of the years I had sacrificed, holidays spent cleaning their mess, weekends given up for their convenience. I thought of his smirk when he reduced me to nothing more than free childcare, and I smiled. Revenge does not always arrive with fire and spectacle. Sometimes it is simply absent, so absolute, so unyielding that your departure itself becomes the punishment. It is the mirror held steady, forcing them to confront their reflection without you cushioning the image. Hawaii had been intended as their paradise. In truth, it became my liberation. Now, whenever my phone lights up with her name, I feel no guilt, only freedom, because the truth is simple. I never abandoned anyone. They abandoned me, piece by piece. With every insult, every assumption, every dismissal, I finally responded not with words, but with absence. And when the calls finally stop, when her voice vanishes from my voicemail forever, that will be the final, perfect victory. Because then she will realize what I knew on that beach. She never had a sister. She had a shield. And the shield is gone.